and welcome to an edition of Stupid Politics. I have a guest with me today whose name is John.
Olinger.
I was going to say, don't make me pronounce the last name. We're going to let John introduce himself, and then we're going to get into why you're here on Stupid Politics and what's going on. So tell us a little bit about who you are, John.
My name is John Olinger. I'm a Fort Wayne native, born and raised here, educated here, graduated class of '83 at Northside High School, '88 at IPFW with a bachelor's degree, married here, have 2 kids here, and got my MBA here. So
Gonna die here.
Gonna die here, probably. Hopefully not anytime soon.
Right, but
yeah, it's and I'm currently running for the 84th House seat vacated by Randy Moore. I'm just here to get the word out.
Okay, so let's back up. Is this your first time in politics?
No.
Okay, give me so you're running for office.
My first experience in politics was Meeks for mayor, probably 1976.
You ran for office, or you were on his campaign?
I worked on his campaign. I was a 12-year-old, so I had to be somewhere around 76. And he lost. And I think Will Moses may have won that race. But I stayed peripherally involved in politics all my life, and got involved with the Republican Party in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, and joined the Young Republicans.
Okay.
I've been a Young Republican, and I'm actually too old to be kicked out. So I'm not a Young Republican.
That's on IPFW's campus, or the college campus?
That's college Republicans, and they didn't have those in my day. It was just liberals and me. And that's pretty much IPFW. But the Young Republicans was just an auxiliary of the city or county Republican Party, and I was treasurer and president for 2 years, and met a lot of good people, which were now office holders. A lot of people in our local office all started there, and somewhere along the line, my uncle ran for school board, and I had tried to get my daughter to school, and she was technically too young to be in kindergarten. But the next year, we wanted to put her in first grade. She could read, she could do basic math, and we didn't feel we wanted to put her in kindergarten, so we put her in the principal allowed. According to state law, the parents have the ability to bypass kindergarten because it's not needed. And my wife told me to complaining, and we said, I'm out. So I ran for school.
Like you're right.
Yeah, and I did. She was right. A lot of people complain that if you sit on your keister, you don't go out and try to make a difference.
That's what this show has been all about.
It's worthless. So whether you're a precinct committee person, or you do a show like this, or you just help a candidate, you jump in and be part of the system. If
nothing else, my big thing is make sure you know where your candidate stands.
Oh, absolutely.
Before you vote, or don't vote for that office. If you don't know either guy.
I'm on a school board. We're the people whose buttons you have to push to get out of the room. So many people hit those buttons, and it becomes a pure name recognition.
Absolutely.
And that's sad, because there's a lot of issues. If you look at the local issues that affect people, first of all, school board makes up, or the school system makes up 50% of your state tax base. 50% of the budget goes to either higher education or public schools. Of that, 66 is actually public schools. So a full third of the Indiana state budget goes to public schools, whether that be Fort Wayne Community Schools, charter schools, IPS, or all the local city schools. When you combine higher education, IPFW, IU, Purdue, Ball State, all the other colleges involved in satellites, education makes up half the state budget.
Yeah, and it's very important right now because with schools closing and all the problems, you're right. It's such a small position, but it's so key.
Even if you don't have kids in school, you're paying for it.
You're right.
If your kids are in parochial school, you're paying for it, and the people in your community are being educated by it. So, good or bad. I once said we build schools so we don't build prisons, and I believe that. I think the more, in fact, I met with a constituent today who was wondering if we are funding the children here illegally. It's like, absolutely. We don't ask, nor is it the state law to ask whether they're here legally or not. If they're here, they go to school.
Isn't also federal government law that you have to school children?
I don't know federal, I know it is state.
Okay, federally I think you're required. That's kind of the Arizona controversy.
Yeah,
they're stepping on.
Bottom line, yeah, it costs us money. Our options are to not have them here. Our option is not to not have them here. They're here. They're either going to be educated, or they're going to be a burden on the system their entire life, either in prison or on welfare in the system. So hopefully the education piece, even though it costs money, and all rather see a different solution than just mass uncontrolled immigration that we seem to have. You can't deny them that service of education, because ultimately we're ourselves. So, when it comes to our school budget,
I'm not even going to get you in trouble by saying I disagree, only because it's the money right now.
It is the money.
I'm to the money, but
it is the money.
That's not necessarily what you're here for, so I want to continue. So you have never ran for office before now?
I ran for school board in 80.
Did you win?
94, I lost.
You lost?
I came back 2 years later and won.
School board?
School board. Fort Wayne Community Schools, and I sat on that board for 12 years. In the meantime, I ran for city council.
Just for people to get to know you, do you have an accomplishment that you're proud of?
We worked for, I was a lone conservative many years. There was a few people that came through that were conservative with me. We never had more than 2 conservatives on that.
So you lost every vote?
Yeah, I got pretty used to it. I felt like Don Quixote. I just charged windmill after windmill. Occasionally, I would win an occasional vote, and I feel like the dog would just constantly for the guitar. What do you do now?
Right.
But yeah, I had Jeanette Quillett on the board with me, and she's an amazing, staunchly conservative woman.
I live in East Allen, so I apologize, but I don't know all these names. I have to pay attention.
She moved out of the county. Deserted me. Bob Armstrong, who
I know him.
not the mayor Bob, but
no, the one that won.
He just lost his wife a few weeks ago. God bless him. And yeah, he county councilman, and he's talking about our school board yet. So I don't know what he's going to do. But he was on with me, and another one that was wonderful, Kurt Walmer, who's also pretty conservative.
So you seem very in the education, and now you're switching to, you said, House rep?
84th House seat, House Congress.
Okay, you're talking about House reps in our state house,
right.
Not federally. We're talking about Indianapolis, which actually should be, if I could get people to do anything too, is to realize local candidates, 1, are the easiest for us to influence.
Absolutely.
2, they are the most important to us, because if we can get them under control, then we can deal with federal government.
And our federal government is out of control. So far. So education is a good example. There's nothing in the Constitution that gives the federal government any authority over education.
We're going to like each other.
The best thing that we could do for education nationwide is dissolve the Department of Education.
Absolutely. 1, for the money.
Take half that money and give it back to the taxpayers. Take the other half, block grant to the state. Those states could take that money directly to the schools. We wouldn't have.
Oh, I've talked about this many times, that people don't realize we literally send our money to an agency that decides through paperwork. They take their salaries and their benefits out, and then they decide how much we're going to get back of our own money.
And it amounts to be about 5 to 10 cents on the dollar actually gets back to the state.
Which is ridiculous, because if we want to educate our kids, no private business owner would ever send their money out for someone to send it back to them to say, how should I use my own money?
Right.
But for some reason they've convinced us.
Well, and that's just one issue. If you look at what the government's overstepped its bounds, prior to the Civil War, the proper grammar for the United States was these United States. It was plural. Something happened between the 1860s and now, and it's the United States. It's one government. It's one group of one country. There isn't any group of states that make up our country anymore, which isn't true. Our state government is where the power should be.
Absolutely.
And that's
Indiana is completely different than California. Not that they're wrong or right, but
different.
We're different.
You have different laws, different beliefs, different cultures, and when you govern one government wrong, it doesn't fit anybody.
And especially not with the idea of what America was founded on, freedom.
Right.
Because
we're seeing that erode so fast. I couldn't dream.
I can't even.
That's see what we saw in the last.
But
the fact that we have federal takeover of one of our largest corporations, to me, just sends shivers down my spine.
Me too, and they just actually, ironically, passed another bill that I think the president can take over any private business that he deems can affect the economy. So,
which is it?
Yeah, if people want to put McDonald's, if McDonald's decided to close tomorrow and the president decided...
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
We're going to federalize Mickey D's.
What kind of burger do you think
the lines at McDonald's are long now?
Just because of paperwork to get you in. You have to show your ID to get a fry.
Fill out the Big Mac form in triplicate.
Exactly, before you can get that drink.